From revolutionary beginnings to forging new paths inland and in the digital realms. As China marks the 75th founding anniversary of the People's Republic this year, CNA Correspondent is on a journey to explore what's next in the decades ahead. Located in the heart of central China is the bustling city of Changsha, the provincial capital of Hunan province. Through it flows the Xiang River, which the late Chinese leader Mao Zedong reportedly swam in during his youth, his hometown 100 kilometers away. Today, Mao's presence looms large on an island in the middle of the river. A 32-meter-tall bust of a young Mao, an ode to his formative years, where he studied and worked in Changsha.
There's also a symbolic reason that this statue is located here. It was in 1925 that a young Mao in his 30s wrote his now famous poem named after this city, Changsha. In it, he describes himself standing on this very island with the Xiang River flowing as he looked into the hills.
The poem outlined Mao's aspirations at a time of great social and political upheaval in China. This all said to have left an impression on a young Mao who had his revolutionary start in the city, going on to found modern China more than 2 decades later in 1949. Now 75 years on, I'm curious to see how Changsha is charting its next chapter and even opening new ones for some.
逃离上海定居长沙，很多人说读你们一定会后悔的。
But there have been no regrets for 29-year-old Shi Honghong and her husband, who have called Changsha home for the last 3 years. The couple chose to relocate from the first-tier city of Shanghai, where they studied and worked for 9 years, and they have grown a sizable following on Douyin, sharing snippets from their new life.
上海的话我觉得是大多数人向往的一座繁华的都市。那么虽然说它的一个薪资水平也更高，就是一线城市的房价确实蛮高，买不了房，但是你又面临着要结婚生孩子，那么孩子又会面临着一个教育的问题。比起活在一个城市，我觉得说生活在这个城市是更加重要的。
The couple took a pay cut when they first moved, although they say finding a job was not difficult. The income has since caught up with their previous salary in Shanghai, and they recently moved into their new 120 square meter home in the suburbs, bought for about $225,000 US. Changsha's low housing prices have been a key draw for many. The market kept in check as the local government, unlike many other Chinese cities, does not rely on land financing and real estate for revenue. Changsha was ranked among the top 10 happiest cities in China last year, a title it's held for 16 straight years. Apart from its rich history, it's also been dubbed an internet-famous city in recent years.
Well, I can tell you it gets pretty hot here in the day in Changsha, especially in the summer. So you can see at this popular tourist spot, it's not too crowded at the moment, but at night, this place comes alive.
Changsha, though, was not always this hot of a city. Some analysts call it the once-forgotten child, falling behind during China's reform and opening up era in the 80s and 90s, as resources were focused on the booming coastal cities. But the fate of the inland region changed in the 2000s. Partly due to what was dubbed the rise of Central China Plan, referring to the 6 provinces of Hunan, Hubei, Henan, Shanxi, Anhui, and Jiangxi, introducing favorable central government policies, including the removal of investment restrictions and better tax treatment.
We already see that many of the first or second tier cities in the coastal areas already reached a kind of growth limit. But for the second and third tier cities in the inland provinces, actually, there are huge development room, population refocusing in those areas.
Changsha seized on the opportunity. It entered the prized trillion yuan GDP club in 2017. In the last 3 years, the region has also been home to cities with the largest population growth, Changsha taking top spot in 2022.
There is intense competition, and actually this is one instance where China is quite similar to the United States, where the 50 individual states do also compete fiercely for industry or factories to locate in their states.
Over the years, Changsha has attracted more than 200 Fortune Global 500 companies, and among them is a company that has intrigued the world with its rapid rise.
Security is a little bit tight.
I am inside the dragon's head of the city's economy. Top EV maker BYD. BYD's presence has put Changsha on the map. In August, we were given a rare chance to visit its Changsha base. This as it was getting ready to sell its luxury brand Denza to overseas markets.
It's now my turn to give this car a go. Driving on the right side of the car does feel a little bit strange because we normally drive on the left side here in China, but this is the car that is going to be exported to markets like Singapore, where there is a right-hand drive.
The accompanying safety driver tells me he's received more foreign visitors at this test track in recent times. These include those from the Middle East and Southeast Asia, regions where BYD is keen to grow its market share.
其实我们现在有很多的技术人员都分赴到海外，那么在通过和海外消费者的对话、对市场的分析，其实我们接下来的这种产品研发的过程当中，我们会更多的思考如何让更多的当地元素融合到比亚迪的新能源汽车。
But BYD's ambitions in Changsha are not free from the wider challenges facing China's economy, as the US, Europe, and Canada have slapped tariffs on Chinese EVs. The central region's GDP reached $3.7 trillion last year, accounting for about a fifth of the country's total. But its pace of growth lagged behind all regions except China's northeast.
During the pandemic, actually, much of the foreign investment started to leave some of the central provinces due to the strict COVID restrictions and also the increasing cost and the international context of decoupling and de-risking.
It's a microcosm of what may be Chinese President Xi Jinping's biggest challenge as the nation marks its 75th founding anniversary and as he continues his third term at the helm.
China's game plan for the Greater Bay Area is simple: create seamless connectivity to grow local businesses, bring in foreign investors, and drive development evenly across the southern cities. And I'm traveling around the GBA to find out what this means for the future of the country. By the end of 2023, China's transportation networks grew to over 6 million kilometers. Its investments reaching over $2.5 trillion from 2019 to 2023. Connectivity, the key to modernizing a country as it shifts gears to high-quality development.
Here in the Greater Bay Area, that connectivity is meant to create a one-hour living circle, which means you can get to anywhere within the Greater Bay Area within an hour. And I've just taken a train from Hong Kong to Shenzhen North Railway Station. Excluding the time taken to clear customs, the actual commute was only 18 minutes. And the idea is to create a seamless flow of people, not just across cities, but across the border.
As China's first special economic zone, Shenzhen set a high bar. Located in Guangdong province, it transformed from a fishing village into a high-tech first-tier city in just 30 years. Its GDP has now surpassed Beijing and Shanghai.
Back then, Shenzhen had a population less than 1 million people, and now over 70 million people. The new generation in China, they're more educated, more open-minded, and there's a higher tendency of these young entrepreneurs or talents, professionals, wanted to seek and learn more about the global business. People in Shenzhen, in Guangzhou, they can speak English. They understand what they don't know and that they are eager to learn more. This is the whole idea of building a better culture within GBA and also improving this connectivity within the region.
Anhui native Kevin Wang is among the many who decided to cash in on the growing South. He co-founded a 3D printing startup back in 2015 that's now gained popularity in the US.
More and more, I see a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in Shenzhen, they are talking about building their own brand, how to make their brand more popular. We are trying really hard to working with the Western medias and also working with the YouTuber influencers. Building a brand is definitely going to help with your business growth.
It's a departure from the past. Given its reputation as the world's factory, Guangdong has long prioritized heavy production lines over brand building. E-commerce has changed the game, as companies now have better access to consumer needs.
In Shenzhen, they will have a policy for cross-border e-commerce companies, especially you are building up your own brand and have your own D2C website. If your sales revenue is over a certain standard, for example, like $1 million per year, they will give you 1 million RMB as a reward for your business.
Elegoo hired its own engineers and started its own factory in Shenzhen. It's an integral part of brand building, as the team meets monthly to review user reports and to improve the next batch of production.
Here's where it all comes together. The parts are manufactured in cities across Guangdong and assembled here in Shenzhen, where Elegoo's own factory is. Now, take this metal frame, for instance. It was manufactured in Dongguan, about an hour's drive away from Shenzhen. Now, this metal frame is used to hold resin, a raw material that's meant to create the 3D printed models. And this metal frame will then be inserted into the machines and brought here for testing.
As Kevin needs to increase orders ahead of the holiday season, we've decided to pay his supplier a visit in Dongguan, also known as China's manufacturing hub.
Here in Guangdong province, you can easily find a supplier that can meet your demands. If we have any serious issues with the quality, we can just call them and they will come to our factory at the same day, so which can definitely help expedite the whole process.
China has poured billions of dollars into transport infrastructure.
Yes.
How has that helped a company like yours?
With a very solid infrastructure can definitely help with economic growth. Lately, they have the Shenzhen Bridge, right? We also have some suppliers there. Before, if we want to visit their factory, it's about 2 hours drive. But now with the Shenzhen Bridge, it will cut the transaction time by 50%.
Talk about brand building. The newly opened Shenzhen Link has become a symbol of what China can do for global development, as it builds ports and highways across the world under its Belt and Road Initiative. The $6.7 billion mega structure is a 24-kilometer link that connects Shenzhen to Zhongshan. The link is expected to drive regional growth for companies with distribution presence across the GBA.
东莞这边它的地理位置优势也是比较明显的，就是它往前它隔深圳隔很多那种品牌厂会比较近，交通呢隔机场隔那个重要的码头这些也不是很远。东莞也是中国的一个技术人员啊，一些那种基础的制造人员等等这些一个集散地，再加上东莞经过很多年的一个沉淀，它的政府对制造业的扶持或者一个整体的一个管理，它也是比较成熟的。
As China turns its focus on emerging industries, it's pouring money into Qianhai, a commercial zone in the western coast of Shenzhen. Qianhai is a short drive away from Shenzhen Bay Bridge that connects to Hong Kong, a selling point that's been used to draw investors in. In fact, Hong Kong University just opened an academy here for tech entrepreneurs.
大湾区的腹地无限广阔，前景无限广阔，这都是我们可以大展手脚发展事业的好地方。
Qianhai is currently home to nearly 10,000 Hong Kong-funded firms. Porkfield Technology is among 11 startups from the University of Hong Kong that's moved into the new tech academy.
从 tax 方面以及从一些租金方面，对我们来说都有很大的优势。毕竟在前海这个地方，就每年都会有特别多的 international 的那种展会。之前接的那个单也是 在一次国际展会上，最终他们成了我们的客户，对我们这种小的初创公司来说，可能是最好的一条路。
I think China is going to build better connection with different countries in our region. We talk about infrastructure, but it's really the people that matters. The central government had improved and changed policy.
From the Pearl River Delta to the Greater Bay Area, southern China has reinvented its image through the years. But it's rooted in the same belief that openness creates fertile soil for the country to grow.
In late July, the hashtag about a quirky song climbed to the #1 spot on social media platform Douyin's entertainment chart. The tune is a brainchild of a blogger unhappy about his nose job. It's one of those tunes that truly sticks in your head. But what's intriguing about the earworm, though, is that it's generated using artificial intelligence. The AI-generated content has gone viral here. Just goes to show you how much AI has progressed in China and captured the public's imagination. 人工智能, or artificial intelligence, has been the mantra for Chinese President Xi Jinping, as well as his ministers in various speeches made across the country. When Shanghai organized its World Artificial Intelligence Conference, Chinese Premier Li Qiang himself flew down to give the keynote speech, showing the emphasis Beijing places on AI as a driver for growth.
早在2017年，中国就发布了新一代人工智能的发展规划。近年来，我们充分发挥创新要素密集、数据资源海量、应用场景丰富等特有的优势，大力推进了人工智能创新发展。
Thanks to generous government support, Fanghan's Kunlun Tech is one of the companies which make significant strides in AI in recent years. Remember this? This was generated using Kunlun Tiankong's Sky Music platform. But the company isn't stopping with music.
Skyreels 是一个短视频的 AI 创作平台，它可以从小说生成剧本，再生成分镜，然后从分镜呢再生成对应的就是电视剧的视频，然后同时还能就是进行配音和背景音乐的自动生成。然后我们这个 Skyreels 就是 AI 短剧创作平台，跟其他的视频创作大模型最大的差别是在我们的可控性上面，剧本生成视频上面会更加的遵从性更强。就好比说我们的 AI 演员更加听话，然后演技更好。那么我们通过我们的这个 Skyreels AI 短剧创作平台，我们可以把它的成本降低到几百美金。那么这个我认为是非常有意义的，可以让更多的人加入创作短剧的这个创作者里面去。
那美国不是有限制比较高超的晶片出口到中国嘛？那这对中国的 AI 的发展有如何的影响？
在最高端的大模型方面，它是取决于芯片以及电力的供应。中国的每年的发电量大概是美国的2.5倍，但是中国的芯片呢，目前的大概也是落后于美国3到5年左右。但是呢，这个可以用数量来弥补。所以说我个人看法，芯片并不能制约中国的 AI 几座大模型的发展太久时间。而且你可以管制进口，但是永远你很难管制出口。也就是说，除非中国大陆管制美国的 AI 芯片的进口，否则你是很难限制各种渠道去获得芯片。
Indeed, for a time, the proliferation of intelligent robots and autonomous vehicles in the big cities seem to signal that China is fast running ahead in the global AI race. But at the end of 2022 came the launch of ChatGPT by American company OpenAI. without a similar large language model or LLM of its own, then China seems to be lagging behind again. But in under 2 years, in typical Chinese fashion, China now has not one, but hundreds of LLMs released for public use. With the government's approval, of course, as in most things related to information flows in China. But in that mad AI rush, some companies have also run into trouble. iFlyTech, which produces devices like this handy multilingual transcriber, saw its share price plummet after its AI tablet meant for students generated an essay with bits critical of Mao Zedong. The market reaction reflects the kind of strictly regulated environment that tech companies have to navigate in China when it comes to AI. You can feel the invisible hand at play when using some of the Chinese chatbots. Despite hurdles at home and abroad facing China's AI sector, the juggernaut seems to be chugging forward, or at times even speeding on the AI highway to make up for lost ground.
全世界人工智能，我认为现在很明显是中美双强并立，然后美国的水平更高一些。但是中国呢，首先是低端工程师的团队更大，第二，中国人善于把技术给它产品化。
But a 2022 report shows that while China produces most of the world's entry-level AI talents, 26%, only 12% stay in China to do postgraduate work. China loses many of its AI talents to American graduate schools, and these graduates then move on to do postgraduate work in the US, with few of them returning.
这些人才其实最看重的就是钱啦，当然我指的钱不是指的他的薪水，其实做前沿的或者是具体落地的AI 的应用，它是非常消耗资源和钱的。那他们会关注的是说这家企业它持续在这个领域里的投入的决心，以及如果它是个初创公司，在整个风投的 投资市场上，他们的所在的企业是否能够持续的募集到资金来支持他们的探索。
The fair distribution of the rewards of work is one of the central ideas that led to the formation of the Communist Party of China in that building behind me more than a century ago. That event eventually led to the formation of the People's Republic of China 75 years ago. Now, as AI reshapes the future of work, the party faces a new challenge: how to harness the power of AI while staying true to its socialist principles. Whether the party succeeds in doing so and how it does it will impact not just China, but the rest of the world as well.